And so when I went to New Mexico and I was alone for a little bit, I met someone else and he changed everything. And then I realized that my mental disorders didn't really matter because I had somebody who would care for me even in my most manic times when I'm screaming and yelling and crying and banging on doors. He would still be there. He would hold me so I couldn't hurt myself. He would hold me so that my heart would stop beating fast. It was a new and wonderful feeling. And I want to highlight that especially. Gosh, I'm blushing. Okay.
You want to tell us a little bit about your relationship with Gabriel?
So Gabriel and I have a very unorthodox relationship. A lot of people would hate me or hate us if they knew everything. Maybe not, but from the stuff we've gotten back from people, certainly most of it has been kind of skittish towards us. We have how I sounded Midwestern. We have, I think, a 22 or 23 year age gap in between the two of us. And for a lot of people that would be a no-no, like, don't date that guy, he's obviously in it to manipulate you or whatever. But the truth is if he makes me happy and I make him happy, what does it matter? We've been together for almost 6 months now. This is crazy. I can't believe it. It goes by so fast. But the way I moved back out to New Mexico was I met him. We fell in love. After like day 3, that was it for me. I knew it was him. And I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. And so I started living with him, even though I was supposed to be going to school at the dorms, which don't tell anyone. But we started living together, and then it came time for the school year to end, or the semester. And because I wasn't coming back to the school, we didn't know when we were going to see each other again. And that was difficult. I remember a post I put on Snapchat, and I know this is totally like irrelevant, but it was the day I was leaving, and it was a picture of me just standing there looking at his truck, and it says, "I'm leaving my heart in New Mexico." And so I left, I went home, and I was about 2 weeks into my stay at home when he was like, and mind you, we were talking every night on the phone. We would fall asleep together every night. And I would text him 24/7. It didn't matter what I was doing, who I was with. I just wanted to be with him. And my parents really loved him, and that was awesome. And so he texted me, "Hey, my boss said he can get me a flight out to you." And I was ecstatic. And then suddenly he couldn't rent a car, and that's where we were fucked. And then his boss gave him some of his back pay. And so he bought a car when he flew out here, and we packed all of my things again. The second time in 2 weeks, we packed all of my things up. We said bye to my parents and my friends in California, and we drove down here. And it was a 21-hour trip altogether. We stopped one night, well, technically 2 nights, because we wanted to stay in LA, but that was it. And then we started living together again, and everything was right with the world. Everything. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you take over in a second, but this is really good. Can you tell us, like, what is it about Gabriel, and maybe how did he come into your life and change it in any way?
How is it not about him is really the question. The first thing that intrigued me was he was willing to come to my dorm room at 1:30 in the morning on Thanksgiving night. Why? Because I wanted company. And so he came, we were talking, everything was awesome, and so I invited him upstairs. And we just happened to strike up a conversation, things led to things, and he ended up staying the night. And then the more I hung out with him, the more I realized how much of his personality I liked. Even when I was in one of my most depressed states, he was able to make me laugh and smile and feel happy. He was taking me to all of these new experiences, 10,000 Waves, the Bug Museum, everything. And you know, he was willing to spend all of his time, as much free time as he could get with me, and I realized that he cared about this relationship as much as I did, which for the first time ever really was clear. And then as we hung out more, he encouraged me to unleash my goth or my punk or whatever kind of person I wanted to be. And he started letting me play around, well, not letting me, it wasn't like, oh, I'm only letting you do this. No, he started encouraging me to try different makeups. I mean, look at this. 3 months ago, I would not have been doing it, but I love it so much, and I've gotten way more followers on Instagram and really pursued my passion of makeup because of him, because he's encouraged me to do these things. He tapped into a creative part of me and made me want to do art again, and made me want to do art with him and of him and for him. And that's something that's invaluable to me. Yeah.
So Gabriel really encouraged you to create new work. Could you talk about the inspiration you find in that work and what kind of work you do?
I do mixed media. For the most part, it's watercolor or Sharpies. I also do cutouts of like magazines like Vogue, and I put them together in weird ways. One of my favorite pictures ever is a cutout of a woman and she's laying down in the grass, but I painted it so it looked like a galaxy sky and said, "Art better than sex." And that was my favorite thing I had ever created for a long, long time. And I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for him, because he said that exact quote the day before, and it got me so inspired. He doesn't even know it, but it's the things he says to me, it's the way he looks at me, it's everything. It makes me feel like I want to do something new, something more, something exciting. It's pretty awesome.
What else is on your list, Carlos?
Let me take a sip while we're doing
Yeah.
And as soon as I moved away, my relationship got stronger with my parents. My mom and I talk almost every day. We Skype, Gabriel and I Skype my parents on the weekends. Like, it's, you may say it's clingy, but I say it's a healthy, sustained relationship. And right now, all we're trying to do is rekindle all of the things that had been broken when we were living together. Yeah. Yeah.